So a very good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another video. Now, I've done a silly thing. Having done a 10-hour shift at work, I've now driven for 2.5 hours, halfway up the east coast of England, to take a photograph of that there. It's St Mary's Lighthouse at Whitley Bay. Looking at the sky, I don't think this was in vain. There was some promise of some colour in the sunrise. I'm very excited. Let's get stuck in, and hopefully we're going to take 3 different photos of this lighthouse over the next couple of hours. So for this first photograph, the lighthouse, well, it's kind of on an island, and that's the photograph that I want to convey with this. And I kind of want to get it during this blue hour. You can see, possibly in the sky, there's a little bit of light being reflected and a little bit of colour in the clouds. I really want to capture that. So we're going to punch in quite close to this, and we're going to do a sort of 16:9 crop. And hopefully, throw the lighthouse on an island, a nice long exposure, pre-sunrise, with all this blue hour light that's currently going on. So here we are, we're about ready to take our first photograph from Whitley Bay, and just on the horizon there's a really nice band of colour. You may be able to see it being reflected in some of the water down here, but it's starting to look a little bit awesome right now. So let's go ahead and take the first photograph. So we're at f11, 4 seconds, ISO 200. I've just focused right in the lighthouse. I've placed the lighthouse right in the middle of the frame. Obviously we're going to crop away all of the railings and the rocks down here. Let's say a nice 16:9 crop, just making the island an island. Here's a photograph. So wouldn't you believe it, I've driven, well, nearly 130 miles. It's starting to rain. I've got a photograph on the go. This is just an extra bonus one that I just wanted to take while I was there. I've thrown the 6mm Lauer lens on, which is a 12mm full frame. I put a 6-stop ND filter on there, and we're getting an exposure time of round about a minute. Let's go have a look and see how it's doing. Alright, so I've just moved on top of a small cliff area, and we're kind of looking across towards the lighthouse now, rather than across the water. We're looking sort of straight on the lighthouse. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little wooden posts in the water, and I'm kind of hoping to use them as something of a foreground interest. Now, there is some colour sort of just kicking off in the sky above the lighthouse. The sun's obviously rising off just to the right of the lighthouse a little bit, and there's a little bit of colour just starting to appear in the clouds. I'm just going to hang on for a few minutes and just see if that colour materialises, and hopefully we might get a rather nice looking photograph here. I'm going to throw a 6-stop filter on again. I really want to flatten the water out because I do like these long exposure photographs. It is my thing that I do, but looking at the sky, there's a slight potential some colour might be about to kick off here. So let's just bide our time and see what happens. So I'll tell you what, this has been rather awesome, just standing here for the last few minutes, just watching the colour, and the pinks and the reds and the oranges spread across the sky. The sun is rising behind a cloud just off to the right. I think it's just underneath a post. If I move, the sun is rising about there. But the colour, I think it's maybe reached its peak intensity about now. Let's not miss this photo. This is the photo, this is the one. So we're at 30 seconds, ISO 200, f10, using a 6-stop ND filter with a 3-stop soft edge graduated filter. Like I say, it's just been awesome just to watch the colour creep across the sky. So hopefully, I'm about to show you a really quite nice photograph. I am in such a good place right now. I don't think any photograph that I'm going to take after this one today is going to look as nice as this next photograph that I'm going to show you. It's a very similar composition to the one I took a little bit earlier on, where we had the posts and the rocks coming in from the bottom right hand corner. Only this time I really just punched right in on the lighthouse and the posts and just made them a big subject in the middle of everything, with all the orange and the reds and everything going off in the sky behind it. It just looks so fucking pretty. Honestly, it has not been a waste of time, which is what I feared this one might be. It's a long drive for me. It's probably the only time I'm likely to come up here and photograph this thing. So yeah, I'm glad it's been a treat. I really, really am. A 130-mile drive here after a 10.5-hour night shift. A 130-mile drive back. 5 minutes of glorious sunrise. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Would I do it again? Absolutely. This is what photography is all about, isn't it? It's getting out of bed, it's doing it, it's experiencing it. I mean, I've been here less than an hour. The sunrise has gone, the colour is gone. I'm probably about to drive back home. Most people will consider this to be a waste of time, but for me, this is what I get excited about. That 5 minutes of colour made it all worthwhile. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this very quick, this very short video. I was hoping to have a little bit more content, but the cloud cover, it's really come over now and the drizzle's come in, so there's no light, there's no point hanging around, there's no point forcing it. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Until the weekend, I'm going to say peace and goodbye.